Hello, friends. Pastor Josh here with another midweek meditative moment for you. And as you can see from my surroundings today, I'm out and about. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity for us to do a different kind of meditative practice. And I know that we've been doing different kinds of meditative practices all throughout the season of Lent. So why not continue that pattern? Today we're going to be talking about a walking spiritual practice or a walking meditative practice. So often when we think about meditation, we think about sitting by ourselves in a quiet, secluded place so that we can sort of tune out all the stresses and anxieties of the world around us. And don't get me wrong, that's a wonderful practice and something that is much needed every now and then. But sometimes getting out into the world, getting amidst all that is going on in the world around us and going for a walk can be an equally valuable meditative practice in our lives. So that's what we're going to be talking about here in just a second. But first, a piece of scripture for you from the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 16. So I say, walk with the Spirit. You will not gratify the desires of the flesh. When I was in North Carolina, serving at a church in the little town of Creedmoor, just outside of the Raleigh-Durham area, we did this youth group activity that was a walking prayer, where we took the youth group out into the community, out into the neighborhood, and walked around the different houses, the different businesses on Main Street. And as we did, we'd stop at different places and ask the kids, what do you see around you? What is different about your environment in this place than in the place that we just were? And how does this inform what you would like to pray about, or how you can pray about your community? It was such an important and powerful, I think, practice, because as we walked, our attentions were drawn to new things in the community, new ways that God's love was needed, new avenues where we could be of service to those around us. And we did so because we went out and walked. And so as we walk, we really are drawn in our attentions to new things, even if it is just in familiar places like our own hometowns or our own neighborhoods. But this happens when we are intentional about going for a walk, not to get exercise or not to get from one place to the other, but when walking, just being out in our communities, becomes the object of our practice. In that very same way, walking in and of itself can be an incredibly spiritual and meditative practice. When we go out and walk intentionally, when we are intentional about every single step we take, where we place our feet, how we place our feet, when we place our feet, when we claim those as active decisions, they go from just being a thoughtless, mechanical practice to something that is our own. And when it's our own, we can offer it up to God. We offer to God each and every step we take, asking that these steps not be for our own sake, but for God's sake. And this is a great way to remind ourselves of the way that God is involved, not only in the physical steps that we take as we go for a walk, but the way that we walk on the journey of our lives, whether it be to some specific destination or away from something, whether it's so that we can see something ahead of us or bring something from our past with us into a new place. We can offer up the journey of our lives to God in the same way that we can offer up every single step that we are taking to God. And that way, walking goes from just a mechanical or a necessity to something that can be a deeply spiritual and deeply meditative and mindful practice. So friends, I pray that you find some time in your day, maybe in your week, to go out and take a walk. Not so that you can get somewhere or not so that you can get some exercise, which we all need. I certainly know that I need it, but simply for the sake of walking, for offering up a practice to God. I pray, friends, that you stay safe out there and that you have a blessed week filled with walking on God's path.